grammar lecture, Athenaze 02B. Good afternoon, morning, evening, students. We are dealing with the 2 beta grammar lecture recap. And to help us remember what we're doing, we're going to be covering the vocative address phrase, the verb imperative, the verb infinitive, and then a couple phrases, the dia plus genitive through, and the ace plus accusative goal phrase. So let's begin. Vocative case is a special case that is used to indicate address or telling who you're talking to, such as if I said, comma, students, comma, let's get working, I would be using the vocative. Now, the Greek vocative as well as the Latin vocative looks just like the nominative. Thalata, thalata, piece of cake. Only exception, the masculine second declension noun. Anthropos to anthrope, short e. As you will be seeing in Latin, you have hortus goes to horti. Same idea. Now, if there's in Latin, when we'll be covering this next chapter, if you have an I stem, the gladius goes to gladii. So, therefore, when we analyze the verb, you have a, which is a second person singular present indicative active of Amy, Amy a, Estin, Esmond, Este, Azen, which signifies simple present active, you are. Oh, now we're talking about you, but I don't see Sue, the pronoun. Well, is it found in the verb? Well, sort of it is, but we also have the address phrase. Vocative plus no other signals, address phrase. Oh, slave. You are, and then of course are, nice verb, equating verb. You don't look for an object phrase when you have an equating verb because is doesn't take an object. Therefore, ooh, it is the nominative plus no other signals equational phrase. Here we are. Just sorry, Mr. Fuffy Wumpkins is right now crawling all over me, and he's never been declawed. Moving on. Quick fire challenge. As we can see, oh, it's not ho. Therefore, you're dealing with an address phrase. It looks just like the nominative, except for second declension. A tougher one, but publius goes to E, okay, and publius goes to I, and metellus goes to E. In the future, I'm not going to give a analysis of those until you've taken them. That's kind of fun. Moving on to the imperative. All verbs so far we've covered are indicative. They signify tense. Imperative is used by giving commands. So as we see here, tima, timate is the same as the Latin imperative, lada, ladate, poie, vide, poiete, videte, lue, mite, luete, mitite, isthi, s, that's a difference, but it's irregular, but check this out. Este, este. So pretty easy. Short vowel at the end, and then te. Imperatives such as farmer, come to the house, you're talking to one, therefore it's second person singular imperative. All imperatives are second person talking to you. And then, of course, we have farmers, come to the house. Who are we talking to? Plural. So therefore, Reverend Greg, that looks just like the nominative. It does, doesn't it? But the O tells you it's vocative. And then the verb is second person plural. Therefore, you're indicating talking to two of yous. Present indicative does signify tense. Farmer loves the house, and like any verb in Greek, it can go either way it wants, anywhere it needs to. Now, let's take a look at this. What do you do first? Badidze. See the short E? That tells you it's vocative. Not vocative. I apologize. It's imperative. Second person singular, present imperative active. Signifying simple aspect, no tense in the imperative because it's no tense right now. Volitive mood, command, and active voice. Walk. Who are we talking to? Well, we're talking to you, but do we have anything else here? Oh, I got a comma, and I got a vocative. It's an address phrase. Oh, slave. Walk. Oh, what's this? Ace plus accusative. What's the lion doing? Oh, it's going into. So therefore, ace takes the accusative. Now you've seen pros taking the accusative too. What's the difference between ace and the accusative? Ace indicates going into something versus just going to. There's a difference between getting dropped off at school and actually going into the building. Hardy, har, har, ha, ha, ha. Look at the end vowel. It's an imperative. The answer is right. Look at that comma. Look at that exclamation point. Look at that command. It's second person plural, luite. B, imperative. A, no, it's not. That's indicative. That's the sexy distractor. It's isthe. Couple phrases. The infinitive. The infinitive we hear in English as to, but you don't say student to study work, right? To is a dependent verb. It's signaling a dependent clause. So therefore, look at your clause. A clause is where you have a verb. Wants to walk. Two clauses, one sentence. No conjunction. One is dependent. This is off of the wanting to walk. The farmer wants, but did say to walk to the house. Infinitives in Latin are easy. Raise, except for the to be verb, which is always irregular. Esse. But the infinitives in Greek are easy. On, ein, enai. So, piece of cake. Now, we have a nice verb. Sometimes you have a nice impersonal construction called, for certain impersonal verbs, you don't have a subject phrase. You just say necesse est in Latin, which is it is necessary. Third person singular, present indicative active, simple present active, plus subject. It is necessary. It's always impersonal. It's necessary to what? Oh, then you need this complement clause signified by the infinitive. There's my other verb, boom. Infinitives have no tense and no mood. They are only simple and active. To walk. It is necessary to walk. Now we have a new phrase. Pair plus the accusative in Latin equals, see what he's doing? It's a through phrase. Dia plus the genitive in Greek. Through the road. So that's kind of a tougher one. We would like to have accusative. We think of direction, but that's not the case in Greek. So it's dia plus the genitive. Ah. A9. Uh-oh, we just learned it. What is it? It's the infinitive, to be. To run. Uh-oh, to run. Infinitive in Latin, currere. It's not an infinitive, that's an imperative. It's telling me to do something. That's indicative. Usin, that's indicative. That's indicative. Oh, short epsilon, that's imperative. Now, just a few words on blepe. He looks. Ah, what's that case? Notice that O, O. And well, it's a little different than the endings we saw. Yeah, that's why there's the O there. Uh, so if it's a second declension noun that ends in E, then there's other declensions you don't need to worry about right now. But the O will tell you. What's that again? What case? It's vocative. Notice the comma, notice the O, and then the ending. Oh, what is that? Short epsilon. Well, students, I know Greek is a tough one, but I know you're bright. Don't underestimate yourselves. I certainly don't. I will be adapting the curriculum as we go along to add these things that will help you in your learning. Take care, and remember, in all things, office hours.